This just into the Rock and Metal News studio. David Draiman says it's very lonely to be a singer out there on the open road.
Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy Trevor, back with another rock and metal news video.
No partying, no drinking, no smoking like weed or anything like that, due to the fact that he has to keep his voice in a great position so he can hit the notes and sing the songs that me or you actually want to hear live. Because if he's out there smoking, drinking, partying, it's going to ruin his voice. He also goes on to say,
so it's lonely, to be honest. It's a very isolated and challenging existence for those of us singers who actually still sing live.
That rock stars don't live that 1980s and 1970s lifestyle anymore. Basically, I look at it like this. If you're taking what David Draiman is doing today, and you look at people like Vince Neil of the band Motley Crue, and you hear him live, it's not the same thing. His voice isn't held up. His body hasn't held up. He's fat, he's slow, he's sluggish on stage. The performances that we're going to see at like Welcome to Rockville or these big music events, it's not even night and day different. It's like, what happened? The drugs, the alcohol, it ruined these guys' career. And David is saying, I want to put on the highest quality performances I can. I got to work out. I got to eat correctly. I got to be in physical shape. And the dude from Rockfeed was basically saying, he goes, when I'm backstage interviewing you guys, he goes, there is no partying. There is no drugs. There is none of that stuff. He goes on to say that basically it looks like a well-oiled machine.
I can't. I'm a monk out here. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't partake of anything. I watch my caffeine intake. Like I told you, I hydrate more than most human beings. I have to really, really watch my interactions with people, keep myself healthy. I can't hang out after the show. But it's a sacrifice that I think is well worth it, because it wouldn't be the same.
Basically, everybody's preparing for the show. They're warming up. They're getting ready. Same thing with Metallica. They're sitting backstage, warming up, getting ready for the show, and they're not partying left and right. And that is something that people believe these rock stars are out there doing. And they go, being on the road is not as luxury as you think it is. We're just going from venue to venue, tour bus to maybe hotel, and that is it. David did mention that he has to eat correctly because he has a acid reflux disease, and he goes, that is one reason how I got in good shape. I can't eat after 4 p.m. I can't eat 2 hours before I go to bed, so it gives him like intermittent fasting, which is helping him stay healthy. He says, I'm more hydrated than anybody. He drinks like gallons of water a day. He goes, I'm more hydrated than anybody. And he goes, the lonely part about being a singer out on the road is I can't drink, I can't party, but I can't go backstage and talk to people for hours because, like, let's say Mike or Dan, the guitar player, or John, the bass player, they can be backstage shooting the breeze, talking, and having a good time. And he goes, when you're in a crowd of people, you like to talk above somebody. You got to get louder a little bit so you can get your message across, your point across. But he says, I can't do that because it will ruin my voice. So he says he's just extremely hydrated himself more than anybody. And he limits the amount of talking he does to reparate his voice for the show. But is it surprising that he doesn't drink or party? And he says it's a lonely lifestyle for singers. Because also you got your family you got to worry about when they're at home. And he goes, he has a son and he's got to worry about, I got to make a living for my son, but I got to also think about how is it impacting his life down the road. Because you think about it, down the road, is it going to affect his kid's life where he goes, my father wasn't around, my dad wasn't around, and he was just there giving money. At the end of the day, I think you got to have that balance. Like, go out for a couple of days and go home. Like Metallica, they do like 2 shows a week. they're home for like 4 days. They're there for 2 days on the road, they're home for a week. It's a very lonely lifestyle because you're not seeing your family. And yes, the days of drugs, alcohol, partying like a rock star, the days of people seeing like girls left and right, that doesn't happen anymore. You guys got to realize, Disturbed members are like in their 50s. You're not doing that stuff anymore where you're partying all the time. You're just a well-oiled machine, like Slipknot. They're a well-oiled machine. They all have families. They all have lives outside of the group. And that is something like when Disturbed first started. Yeah, their first DVD in 2000, 24 years ago, they were partying, smoking, girls every night. Yeah, but now you live that lifestyle of, it's a job. I got to do my job to my fullest ability. You're in and you're out. So with that being said, guys, I will talk to you guys next time. But it's crazy watching that interview and seeing one of my favorite musicians of the last 20 years say it's a lonely lifestyle, but the rest of my bandmates, if they want to, they can drink, party, and hang out. I just can't, because I need to keep my voice for the show. I can't be doing all those other things, which is understandable, but he loves what he does, and he has a good bandmates around him, and he has a good voice. And I think when I get to see him live in about 2 weeks, it's going to be phenomenal. So as always, it's your boy Trevor, back with another rock and metal news video. David Draiman says, being a singer is a very lonely lifestyle.